to Sean, though. Sorry, Sean, we had to jump in on you. Look, just talking about Harry Kane, it is an incredible achievement.
Yeah, all right, lads. Love the show, by the way. Yeah, no, it is a good achievement. But I, as an Arsenal fan, as you know, when Harry Kane's on the team sheet, I'm sitting at the edge of my seat thinking he's going to score. But I don't put him in the world-class bracket as strikers go, if I'm honest with you.
What?
I see him as a bit of a bottler, if I'm being completely honest, and I'll tell you why. Here's why. Whenever the big games come, he bottles it. He bottles it for Tottenham. He bottles it for England. The goals he scored for England, he scored something like 15 in friendlies against pub teams like San Marino, who the players on the pitch were probably pouring you a pint on the beach the next day. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That Alan Shearer would score as many goals as Harry Kane would now in this day and age. That Italian team tonight would lose 7-0 against the Italian team 10 years ago.
I mean, you don't... I mean, Shawnee, how bitter can you be?
Don't get me wrong, he's a great striker.
No, but Shawnee. I love the way you started. Look, I'm a Chelsea fan, right? I've got no love for Spurs, right? But, give credit where credit's due. Come on. I know it's hard. Okay, let me ask you this. Give me Arsenal's 3 greatest strikers.
Thierry Henry.
Yep.
Dennis Bergkamp, Ian Wright.
Well, he's better than Ian Wright.
Would you say Arsenal's second all-time goal?
I mean, I wouldn't put Dennis Bergkamp as a striker either. So the minute you got Thierry Henry.
Yeah. But Robin Van Persie, for the 3 years he had, was better than Harry Kane. No two ways. But do you know what the difference is with Harry Kane? He's got nothing about him. The best players in the world go move on to win things. He's moving as well.
Sean, I'm sorry, mate. You can't say Sean. You can't say that.
Bitter Sean.
Sean, you can't say that. The man's got everything as a football player.
Lemon, Shawnee.
Come on, Jamie.
What do you mean? He can play anywhere. He can do anything on a football pitch.
There's nothing he can't.
He hasn't got a trophy.
That's because he's playing for Tottenham.
But Sean, that shouldn't take. Your judgment on the player. That shouldn't be where you look, right? Jimmy Traore's got a Champions League winners medal, right?
How many penalties would you two score? Come on, if you got given the chance.
Are you saying
penalties he scored for England?
It's still a penalty. He's still got to put it in net.
What, they don't count?
Of course he has. Of course they do, but it's not like he ain't no R9 Ronaldo or Haaland.
Who is?
Haaland. Oh, you take Haaland over Harry Kane. Inform Harry Kane, inform Haaland every day.
But Sean,
Lewandowski over Harry Kane every day.
I wouldn't have Lewandowski over him.
Sean, I've got to say, mate, you're coming across very, very, very bitter.
No, he's
and it hurts. I think it hurts you that a Spurs player, and I think it does, but I think it hurts you that a Spurs player is England's greatest goal scorer. I think you come across very bitter, Sean,
would you say he's a better goal scorer than Alan Shearer was, would you say, for England?
Well, he's proven he is.
Look at the teams he's played. Bulgaria, Albania, San Marino. They're his top 4, in the top 4 people.
Sorry, I've not got Alan Shearer's record in front of me, right? But I guarantee you he filled his boots when he could against teams that were like a minnows. I guarantee you he did.
I don't even know if San Marino were about when Alan Shearer was playing. These are the sort of... Like, he scored 5 goals. You need to look at who he scored against.
It's amazing. It's amazing how
he scored a hell of a lot of his. He scored a hell of a lot of his goals in competitive games.
His golden boot in the World Cup.
Sorry,
he scored 8 goals in his career for the World Cup for England. 8 goals.
No, but it's not just the World Cup, Sean, is there? It's the Euros, it's the qualifiers. There's build-up games. They're still
he's
top.
A great striker. I put him as like a great striker, like a Van Nistelrooy type of striker. Not one of the best ever there was.
He's broke the record at Tottenham, and he's broke the England goal scoring record. How can you sit there and say that you can't put him as one of the greatest strikers this country's ever seen? How can you?
He's not a World Cup. I don't see him.
Sean,
come on,
Sean.
Okay, he's entitled to his opinion. He's entitled to his opinion.
Opinion's wrong.
Bitter, Sean. Bitter, Sean.
Come on.
Very bitter, Sean. No.
He's okay.
Right.
Okay.
Sean, look, you're entitled to your opinion, but let's go to Ben, who's a Leeds fan. All right, Ben?
Yeah, hi, Jamie.
Hi, Ben.
Thank God we've moved. Thank God. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go for it.
Thank God we've moved on from... I mean, why waste our time listening to that bloke? Harry Kane clearly is a world-class striker. He should have a look at Wayne Rooney's record when it comes to major tournaments, actually. He barely ever scored when it came to the finals of tournaments. I mean, Shearer was fantastic, but to say that Kane's not is ridiculous. I think also, Jamie, you'll be pleased to hear, I don't see why Harry Kane should leave Tottenham. I'd be perfectly happy. He's England's greatest striker, Tottenham's greatest player. You've got players at Man City who've almost never actually played and have got a load of trophies. Because
the only reason I say about it, Ben, is of course I want him to stay. As a Spurs fan, I want to see Kane in a Spurs shirt for as long as possible. I think maybe he personally might look at it and say, I'm now England's record goal scorer, I'm Tottenham's record goal scorer, but I don't have a trophy. My chances of winning a trophy at Tottenham at the moment are pretty slim. If there's an opportunity with a year left on my contract that Spurs might get £100 million for him, they might look at it and say, maybe to be fair to him, to give him the opportunity to go and win a Premier League, then he goes. Of course, I'd love him to stay and sign another 5-year contract.
Yeah, you say win a Premier League? You can't sell him to an English club. Fine, go to Madrid.
He won't go to Madrid. He wants the Premier League all-time record goal scorer.
So where's he going to go then? He can't go to Manchester United. You can't do that.
Well, you
can't do that. Levy can't do that to us.
Well,
to the rest.
The problem is going to be awful. The problem is.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Awful
to who? To Leeds fans?
The rest of the country.
What do you mean?
Sell Kane to Manchester because other than Manchester United fans, everybody hates them. You can't sell England's greatest striker to that lot. You can't do that to us.
That's another. That's a Leeds fan. What's going on here? What's the bitterness going on here?
You can't do that. But also, what have you got against Calvin Phillips? You and Dion Dublin seem to blame Calvin Phillips for everything that goes wrong for England.
I've got absolutely nothing against Calvin Phillips. What I saw tonight from him was that. Yeah, he gave everything, and he put in a decent and an okay performance. In the second half, Ben, you can't deny that he was out on his feet. And I wasn't saying get him off because he was rubbish. I was saying he needs protection from the coaching staff to see that his legs are gone. He played 56 minutes in the Premier League this season. He needed to be changed. But as you heard from Gareth Southgate, Jordan Henderson was ill. So maybe that's the reason why he had to play him. Yeah, I think Conor Gallagher come on, and I think he probably should have come on 10, 15 minutes earlier.
Yeah, and look, there was a lot going on at that particular time, and I felt for Foden as well, because he comes on, and because of the sending off, I was a little surprised. I felt Saka could have been the sacrificial lamb that would come off. Eventually, he did get taken off. It was a bit of a tough set. We went to a 5 at the back, which I think was probably the right call at the time. When you're down to 10 men, you've got to make sure you do not give them opportunity. They had one shot on target all game. That's some going.
Yeah. Let's go to Paul, who's a Man United fan. All right, Paul.
How you doing? All right.
Yeah, good, Paul. Go on. What's your take on tonight's performance?
I don't want to be negative because it was a very good result, right? So you cannot take that away. I'm going to talk about Southgate, not about Kane. Okay. You cannot take away from the result. Yes, a poor Italy team, but nevertheless we went over there. But it just seems to me, if you're looking at the bigger picture, which must be a trophy, that we still aren't moving on, or he is still not moving on. He still hasn't worked out what to do when our team is winning. And I've got this theory that bad managers know what to do when you're losing. Average managers know what to do when you're drawing. But you need to be a good manager to know what to do when you're winning. And the games keep getting wrestled away from us when we play half-decent teams.
We won?
No, listen, again, not a great Italy team, not going against it. We won. I'm not really talking about the result tonight, because obviously a great result. But if you look at the bigger picture, we could easily not have won. We didn't win when it counted at Wembley, right, in the final. And you could very much see us being in the position again where we don't win, because he doesn't seem to understand what is happening on the pitch that is wrestling the game away from our team.
Yeah, but Paul, I think what you've got to do, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think you're being a bit harsh. They've not lost a game in 41 European qualifiers. Not lost one game. That's the first time they've been beaten in 41 games. They're going to come at you second half. They're in front of their home fans.
They didn't make it to the World Cup, did they?
What's that got to do with the conversation we're having?
Well, no, but only because you're making them out to be fantastic.
No. What I'm saying to you is how difficult it is to beat them.
His in-game management, though, I do think it needs to be better.
There are question marks.
Very reactive.
But you know what? He won tonight. And had he drawn and had he lost, the phone lines would have been going mental, right? Yeah. And now, Paul, although I don't disagree, you've got to, on the other, if you're going to balance it, Paul, you've got to give him credit for his team selection. He got it right. Things could have been different. Yeah, the sending off could have changed the game. But come on,
Yeah.
It's the first time. It's the toughest game. There aren't many tougher away games at international level than on paper, when you look at what they've done away at Italy. There aren't many in the world.
Listen, I'm not taking away from him tonight. I'm honestly not. But what I'm saying to you, hang on a second. We were watching that game. I'll be honest with you, better than the first caller, but I only had one eye on it. But I could see with one eye on the game that from the second half, they were pressing higher. They were stopping us breaking out through the lines from the defence and in deep midfield, and the space was all in behind. Right?
They one shot on target, Paul. What do you want to say? What's wrong with you, man?
Hang on a second.
That one shot. Honestly,
I know that one shot, Jace, but he is right in what he's saying.
No, but had that.
It was a shocking second half.
It was not good. It was not good. But defensively, backs to the wall, we managed to pull out a result. That one shot on target. That was the goal.
Yeah, tonight. We managed to pull out a result tonight. But many times, when it counts, we haven't. And the point is that you can get away with it. You can get away with it once. Yeah, but if you can't see that the space is in behind, if you can't see that the only thing you can do is defend with 11 and then 10 men, because you haven't worked out why they're wrestling the game away from you, you won't get away with it. You just won't keep getting away with it. The space was in behind. We needed to put the ball over them, not through them.
We couldn't get out. We couldn't get out.
For 45 minutes.
We were so penned in.
The ball had to go over them.
Because we didn't have legs. Yeah, we lost legs in midfield.
Kane in the end was dropping deep. Yeah. You know, we couldn't get out. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not disagreeing with what Paul's saying. But if people like Paul find it very hard to praise Southgate. And I don't. No, you do, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely right.
No, you don't.
I agree with you. I do.
You find it hard.
I want to win something.
Yeah, I know.
But I want to win something, and I know that we're not going to win anything with Southgate.
Yeah, but
that's why I find it difficult to praise him.
Okay, but then when he does win, you can't. So there's no pleasing you, is there?
Yeah, lift the cup and you can please me.
No, okay,
you can get away. You can get away with the result. Well, hang on,
but there's no pleasing you, Paul. You've got away to Italy in 1-2-1. You heard his interview. I thought he was very honest there, Southgate. What he said, very honest. Things in the second half could be better. They will be better.
Do you think we're going to win something then with him? Do you think we're going to win something with him?
We've come close, but you need a bit of luck. You know, look,
you need to understand the game that's going on in front of you.
Yeah, but you're two penalty kicks.
I think in the three major tournaments that he's been involved in, his in-game management, when it matters, has let him down.
I can't disagree with that either. But you know what? When he does get a victory, how about you're big enough and brave enough to admit and give a little bit. If you want to, Paul's points I think are valid. There's you and I are talking about that. Need to get high at the pitch. We sat deep. We can't get out, and we couldn't get out. But you know what? We managed to get it over the line. Can things be better? Yes. First half, how good were we? That's as good a first half performance I've seen in a long time from England.
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.